it's Tom from Texas, and it's time for another floppy deep dive. And today we are going to be doing another first series. And you ask, what's the first series? Well, when I do first series, I've done a few of them on my channel since I've started. We've had the first Commodore 128. We had the first Amiga 500. We had my first Atari 800XL. And then I also had the first time that I fixed my Commodore 64 for the first time all by myself. So I do try to do the first when I'm doing something that I've never done before. I'd like to share with you guys, and today I'm going to share with you a new system that it was really cool how I got this system. But I got a new ZX Spectrum, and this is came all the way from England. I'll tell you the story of how that happened. About 2 months ago, I was out surfing YouTube and came across this new site where this gentleman was having a contest. He was refurbishing this and had a contest. He wanted to give it away to his subscribers, which I thought was really, really cool. So I signed up for it and did what I was supposed to do to win it. And sure enough, this happened.
The winner of this and this and this. It's an amazing prize, it really is. I hope whoever wins this is going to really enjoy it. So, here we go, the big one. Drum roll again. We have a winner. It's staying in shop. I need 2 hands to open it. So, the winner of the ZX Spectrum, and thank you again to everyone that took part, is number 47. Where number 47 is, or who you are, but congratulations, you have won. There's your name, so that's why I'm doing that. You have won the ZX Spectrum.
So after I won this, then he had to ship it to me. So it all took a little bit of time to get it sent over to me. It traveled over 4,600 miles to get here, and now I'm really excited to have it in my hands. But once I got it in my hands, I had the problem, I have no way to hook this up because this is running on technologies from England, PEL technologies, England power. Nothing matches to what I got here in the United States, so how am I going to get this to work? So that gave me a little bit more of a dilemma that I had to work with, so I had to figure out a power source. I had a friend who reached out and gave me a link, but it just gave me a good power source that I was able to get that worked directly here in the United States with this to power it properly like it should be and not, short it out or do anything wrong to it. So that was really cool. So I sent off for that. It actually came from the Netherlands, and so that also took another week or so, maybe 2 weeks for it to come in. So was really waiting for this to come in. So it was a lot of delay, but today was the day I get to get it in my hands, power it up, see if I can get it to work, and see if I could figure out how to make this everything turn on, and see if I can load up a game. Because it did win some other things that came along with it. So I also got this really, really cool, this kind of is emulating having a cassette player so I could load up stuff directly on this. And that's the file that it plays, but it loads just like it was loading from a cassette player. So this isn't a quick load where I push a button and boop, it's up on my screen. I gotta go through all the screening, the flashing, and everything for it to be able to load up. But it's really cool. This just has an SD card here at the end, a micro SD card in the bottom down there, and then it's powered by a USB, so it's plugged to my computer, and that's giving it the power right here that it needs. And then it has the audio cord that you stick in the mic button in the back of the ZX Spectrum, so it can just listen to it just like if it was listening to the cassette player. So been playing around with this, trying to load some stuff up, and I'll show you some of that too to you guys and see what we're doing. But I thought this was really cool, and this was all part of the prize. This came with it, so this was really helpful because obviously I have no software whatsoever for the ZX Spectrum, but now I had this and I was able to load something up. So I wanted to share this with you guys, and we'll test this out and see what we can do with it. So the other piece of equipment that I got along with this drawing was this right here. I forgot what they called it, but how he described it is that just plugs into the port of the back of the ZX Spectrum, and this is so you could cheat on games. So you could push this button here and you're able to give yourself like unlimited lives and do different things like that with certain different games. So that's what this one does. I haven't messed with this at all. We won't be looking at it on the video. I just not that far along to start worrying about cheating on games, but thought it was cool that it came along with it and something else that added to the bonus of winning this prize. It is a gorgeous little computer, and when I say little, I was shocked by the size of this, and I'll show you some of the comparisons based on my other systems here in a minute. But it's definitely much smaller than I expected when I got it. So to give you guys some size comparison, here's the Commodore 64 bread box and the ZX Spectrum sitting leaning on top of it. And as you can see, huge difference in how small that is. Here's the difference in Atari 800 XL and the size difference on it. And here's the Amiga 500 and the size comparison. It could just rest on top of it. And also now here's the comparison with the Commodore 128 and the size of the ZX Spectrum. So as you can see, it's very small. So we're still in a contest that's going on where you're looking for the keywords that I say in the video, and you'll win one of my posters. You can kind of see the Bruce Lee or the Maniac Mansion, the Pirates, but just listen for that keyword. This is the second video, so this would be the second keyword that you get, which will be somewhere within this video. So let's take a closer look at this. I'm going to come up to the camera so you can really see it. And there's not a lot to it. I love these little feel of these keys. They're kind of rubbery feeling, smooth. This case, this white, is really slick and looks really well. It was what he added on there when he did a refurbish of that. So it looks really good. And then you can see on the sides, there's nothing really on the sides. The other things that you could see are the ports here, so you could see the things in the back. So luckily for me, this was modded so I could hook it straight up to a composite. So composite to composite is all it took to get that hooked up. The other ones here is you've got your mic in and you got your audio out right here. That's the two. And then you have your cartridge slot right here, and then you got your power button. And that's all there is to it. There's nothing on here that's for joysticks to plug in or anything like that. I did order another piece that I'll be making a video of, that I'm supposed to be able to add a port on there for a joystick, so that'll be cool once I get it. But that's all there is really to this simple machine. Taking it apart, you just got these 5 screws here that you have to take out. It's really easy to get it in there. Like I said, I thought I was going to have to do a mod, but I didn't have to. So look at that. Just a really cool system. Really enjoying it, and just like I said, love that I'm getting to learn about it and the different things that I'm able to do with it. And while I do, I'm just going to share it with you guys. So now I got it all hooked up in here, and as you can see, I got the composite right into the back. I've got my audio plugged into the audio. I've got my mic plugged into over here into my cassette player, and here's your little bit better view than me just holding it, what it looks like with the digital screen. And it's pretty cool. It has the Sinclair right there and has a little cassette on there, but I have that connected directly to the back here, and then of course the power cord. So everything's plugged up into this little ZX Spectrum, and now we're going to just turn it on and play it, and I'm going to try to load up Jet Set Willie first and see if I could get that to play. So all you do to turn this on, there's no power switch on a ZX Spectrum. You just either plug in to the back of it like I'm going to do here, or you have it hooked up to your power strip and you just turn on the power strip, or however you want to do it. But that's how you get power to it. There's no light on the ZX Spectrum or anything that shows that it's powered on. So fingers crossed everything works here. I have it hooked up to my VGA monitor. And I'm actually using this adapter right here. And this adapter is the same exact adapter that I used to hook up my Commodore 64 to a VGA monitor. So it just powers in here, the video and the composite, then it converts it over to the VGA, and it's working just fine. This is best investment I ever made. One of my video that I made showing how to hook your Commodore 64 to your VGA monitor, this is the exact same tool. I paid less than $20 works for this. Now it's working for my ZX Spectrum. So I love how it pays forward and just keeps on working. So let's see if we can get this working up on this VGA monitor. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug the cable into the back. That'll get this started and rolling. And that should turn on my VGA monitor, and there it is. Boom! We've got in color the Sinclair Research LTD 1982 for this ZX Spectrum, which is awesome. Now, I tried this on another one, and I have video of it. I might have showed you, might not. But on that video, I had it hooked up to my 1702, and the 1702 would only display it in black and white. So, of course, I needed color, so that's why I wanted to give the VGA a try. Hooked it up to VGA, and immediately, boom, we've got it. So, I didn't know how to use this cassette player, and I did not know how to load a game on the ZX Spectrum, so I had to do a little research, and it's really, really simple. On the J, it has a built-in load to it, so I just hit the J key, and it automatically types load for me. Then I hit the Shift, and on the P, so I do 2 quotes, and then I just hit enter. And now it's ready for me to hit play on my cassette player. I'm going to hit play on my cassette player, and it's going to start loading directly up. And you can see it starts to load it all up for me. And this is like it's loading directly from a cassette player. So it's giving it all the information in there. And as you can see, I'm trying to load up Jet Set Willy here. So hopefully Jet Set Willy will work. So it's loading, and it loads just like a normal cassette. So you get your flashing bars and everything. This doesn't speed anything up or make it go any faster, unfortunately. But I will edit this out a little bit, but I wanted to show you. I also got it hooked up to my speaker. If I wanted to hear the sounds, there's the sounds. Very annoying. I don't want to hear the sounds, but just to show you guys. But once the game's loaded, it's easy enough. I'll just turn on my speaker and start where I could hear it for the gameplay. And this is awesome, guys. I've always wanted a ZX Spectrum once I learned about it. Growing up in the 80s, I knew nothing about it at all. Obviously here in the United States we didn't have this version of ZX Spectrum. We had the Timex Sinclair, and I'm sure someone will put down in the notes, oh, we had the yes, I know, we had the Timex Sinclair one, but we did not have this. So that's why it was really, really crucial to make sure that I had all the right parts to be able to use it here in the United States, because this was not made for us. And I didn't want to fry it with a bad power supply or whatever the case might be. The keyword for this week, by the way, is pirates. The keyword for this week is pirates. So write that down. That is the number 2 clue. If you didn't get the number 1 clue, go back to the first video, last week's video, and you'll see the first one. Collect all 8 of those clues, and then you'll get to get in the drawing to win the poster. So once Jet Set Willy loads up, it comes to this enter at code at grid location 00, and when I got this, I was stumped. So of course I go straight to the internet and see what it pulls up, and apparently there's a table out here for Jet Set Willy, and it tells you all the different codes. So this one's 002422, so I'm going to give that a shot. 2422. And there you go. Then you got Jet Set Willy up, ready to play. I can turn my speaker on. Let's hit enter to start. Now I don't have a joystick, but the keyboard actually allows you to play. I believe spacebar jumps. Top bar, seems like any of these keys up here on this top row allows me to go back and forth. Do just a little bit of the gameplay, because it's really not about the gameplay. As you can see, it loads up just fine and plays and works. So I was really happy with that. Played a little bit of Jet Set Willy and just trying to get used to the different game and how it plays. So that's it, guys. That's everything in the video. Just wanted to share with you my surprise in this new piece of retro equipment that was added to my system. I'm very excited to do some comparison videos and see how the gameplay was over there in Britain and see how it's a little bit different in England versus what we do over here, and also compare it to my favorite system, the Commodore 64, and of course the Atari 800 XL, and just be able to do some more of the mini Faces series that I do. I'm going to continue to do more of those where I take one game and look at all the different systems and see how the game plays. But I love just having the original equipment. This is something that I definitely wanted to get and add to my collection, and I was so lucky to win it. Wanted to thank Cy for sending that out to me, and just very, very happy and excited to play with this, learn all about it, and see what all this little piece of hardware can do. So I want to do a shout out to one of my biggest fans. I want to shout out to my sister Lisa. Lisa watches all my videos, and she is a great support for me on this. She's one of the strongest people I ever known. She battled cancer and won, and just love you, sis, and wanted to do a quick shout out to you. So that's it, guys. Until next week, thank you for joining me on another Floppy Deep Dive.